the dustiest, the winds are the gustiest, the gates are the rustiest, the pies are the crustiest, the songs the lustiest, the friends the trustiest, way back home, back home. The trees are the sappiest, the days are the nappiest, the dogs are the yappiest, the kids are the scrappiest, the jokes the snappiest, the folks the happiest, way back home. Don't know why I left the homestead, I really must confess. I'm a weary exile, singing my song of loneliness. The grass is the springiest, the bees are the stingiest, the birds are the wingiest, the bells are the ringiest, the heart's the singiest, the arms the clingiest, way back home.
Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of do a little toast to my mom, and then anyone that has a few words they want to speak of an experience with my mom, they're quite willing to come up and say a few words. And at the end, during the 30s and 40s, there was a superstar that they didn't recognize was a superstar, and his name was Al Jolson. And he's really misunderstood as an entertainer. So at the end of all this, I'm going to try to do Jolson for my mother. So I need you to cut me a lot of slack. And I don't want any critics. Where's John? John's the entertainer. I get rid of it. John's the entertainer. And if John can't not be a critic, then leave. So when I decided to do the Jolson thing, my issue was that I wanted to say a few things to Mom today. And every time I started putting words together, I couldn't separate my mother from my father. And I said, well, I'm talking as much about my dad as I am my mom, right? But it's her day. So the cop-out there was to do something different, and the cop-out was this Jolson thing that I may mess up or I may not, but whatever. But in thinking about that, I think that the reality is I can't separate them. Really, I can't. So I want to talk a little bit about my dad, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my mom, and then we'll do a little toast. Okay? And bear with me.
We got time.
I got a plane to catch. So my dad, in his time, told me a little bit of a story about Glace Bay, a place called Senator's Corners. And there was a friend he had, and he was a colored chap. And one day he looked at my dad and he said, you know, Peter, one day I'm coming back to this corner when I'm successful. And I'm going to have on a blue sword suit, a big bow tie, patent leather shoes, and a gold watch. And I'm going to come back here and show up. Now that might not be exactly what he said, but it was kind of what he said. And there was times that I was able to gift my father with things, and I had the opportunity to send him to a tailor. And he had a tailored suit made in blue, an Italian suit. And another time, I bought him a gold watch. And then there was another opportunity where I gave him a gift certificate for DAC shoes. And I really didn't kind of couple the two together, but one day my dad said, buddy, is this all about Senator's Corners? Never really pulled that together. And I have some mementos of my dad.
Yeah, let me get in now.
That tailor suit, I had retailers over 50, so I wear it from time to time. I have a watch. And anyone who knew my dad knew that he never went anywhere without a hanky. And I have his hanky too. Mom and I, about a year and a half ago, we were having this talk. And we decided that between the time I was 1 year old and 18, we had moved 15 towns. Hello. Now you might think that that's kind of chaos, right? And it kind of is like chaos, but you know, I'm sure folks move. And normally when folks move, it's kind of progress, right? Either we're going to a new opportunity or bigger place or greater opportunities or whatever. Well, that wasn't always the case. But I can tell you, honestly, I can tell you that there was never in my heart, my soul, my body, any resentment. I wasn't jealous of other people around me that might have had more or less. And honestly, I really didn't start thinking about it like a lot of things until we're this age, right? You know what I'm talking about. And in the end, you know, because we were always together, right? We were a family. And sometimes it was a progressive move, and sometimes it was a restart. But either way, it didn't really seem to bother me. I mean, when I went home, my brothers were there, and my sister was there, and my parents were there. And it was okay. And many times of these restarts, I remember a Monday morning where my dad, I'd hear him get up and I'd hear him go into the bathroom and do the kind of things that guys do in the morning to get ready. And then the door would open and I would smell his aftershave.
Old Spice.
Yes. And I'd find an excuse to leave my bedroom and I'd go into the kitchen. There was Dad, and not a suit on yet, but a shirt and a tie, white shirt and a tie, and the jacket was hung over a chair. And I said, "How's it going, Dad?" It's okay. His hard-boiled egg was there. He was cracking it with a spoon. He always told me, "I hate this. I hate this every morning. I hate this, but I gotta do it." And I said, "Everything okay, Dad?" He said, "Yeah. Yeah, buddy, everything's gonna be okay." And sure enough, in the next months or weeks, everything was okay. And I just walked away. I regret sometimes not going up and giving him a hug. Because what was past was past. Now, through all of this, there's my mom. And at first, you know, of course, until you get 40, you really don't start to think about much stuff, right? Like, it's just life, and you're moving on. You're kind of self-serving anyway, right? You're not helping out much, and you're not asking what I can do, and whatever. And, you know, probably in the last 10 years, I've thought about it more. And I thought about my mom. And I said, man, where did she get the energy? Where did she say, okay, Peter, listen, where are we going? Okay. Pack up what we get, let's go. Man, that takes courage, folks. No, I'm telling you. That takes courage. And I thought at one time that, you know, that's really what it was. But there was a story in Hamilton, we were moving from place to place, and I probably was maybe 15 or 16. And we were going to Waterdown from Hamilton, and you know, we were a little tight for cash. So my dad just got a pickup truck, and he hired a guy, and he arrived at our little place. And I looked at the pickup truck, and I said, "Pop, this is not working. You know, we got more stuff." He said, "No, he said you can do it all. Yeah, I already look." I said, "All right." So this pickup pulls up, and this big ramp pulls down at the back with chains on either side, which extended the pickup truck about another 10 feet. These two guys, and I'm sure they were East Coasters. I mean, they had to be, or Dad wouldn't hire them, right? And they loaded this truck, and off we went. And Dad was in his Merc behind this truck. And as we were going down through the road, they decided they're going to go through downtown Hamilton, the core of the city. And as we were going along, this little ramp at the back kept bouncing and bouncing. You were in the car, Mom. We got to the center of the city, the core, where the most people would be, where all the photographers would be, the newspapers would be, the radio, that's where we were. And the change broke. And love of God. The life of the Martins. Oh yeah, I know that piece. And we proceeded to pick it up and put it back into the car. Some of it wasn't nice, you know, it was kind of brutal. But this is what we had, man. This is what we had. I can tell you many stories about that.
But let's not.
Charming is always a weapon.
Now you're on the clock.
But all I'm saying is that that wasn't a bad time at all. It was a good time. And there were many, many times like that. But there were times without. There was just good times. And those are the memories that we have as children. And I talked about my mother's courage and how great that was. But there is one quality that I've learned now. That her love for my father, unmatched on this planet. No question. Join with me to salute this very special lady on her 90th birthday.